For some reason, it just comes up like that, and we lose everybody. Okay. Hopefully you're all back, or you'll come back soon. We can start. We can finish this up. Hey, Jace, how you doing? Thanks for coming in here. Hey, Jesse, Glass, I apologize. I don't know what happened. I have no clue. So we'll just see if we can get people. Just all of a sudden the video just stopped. I don't know. So see if I can get a little different angle here, just a little bit. There. Is that a little bit better? Okay, well, let me see if I can continue with this. How long was I off, guys? I didn't see it up there, and then all of a sudden I noticed that we were off crap. So I hope it wasn't for too long. It's not like we're getting a crowd of people in here, but getting a little wobbly in there. Okay, so now we've gotten it a little thinner. I want to go a little bit thinner than this because otherwise it just looks kind of chunky because it's a small piece. And I'm keeping an eye on the inside for cracks. See, I'm starting to see some little cracks here that are from here. And I don't want these cracks to become prominent, you know? So I may have to kind of not make it as thin as I wanted to. So yeah, having that flat rest really does help. It really does help. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go deeper in there or not. Let me see. I'm going to try and lower this just a little bit so I can get that center out. I'm getting a little bit of a dimple in the center. If you know what I mean by a dimple. So let's see if we can get to that without. I'm going to have to raise it just a bit. Well, this is tricky, always getting that thing just to the right height without going up too high, you know? Let's see if I can get it from there. There. That's going a little better. Yeah, that's actually doing better. I'm going to try the smaller one here for just a second and see how that does. And oh, thank you. It was only a minute or so. Oh, shoot! Here we go again. Here we go again. What's going on here? I don't know why I'm going in and out on my broadcast. It's like I'm losing signal and getting signal back, and I've got a strong signal. So it's something to do with my my provider, I think. Sometimes I can go for hours and not have a single problem, and other days it happens constantly. Well, rest assured, if the signal goes away and we don't catch it back up, I will definitely start it up again so we can at least finish this off. Okay, is that fair enough? I don't want to leave you guys hanging. About 2 minutes, yeah. You can lose a lot of people in 2 minutes. So see, I've only got 52 people watching. But you know what? If you like the other one, you can press the like button again on this one because it's a separate video. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. I only had like 16 likes on the other one, so really would like you to double tap the screen, hit the like button. That would really be appreciated a lot, so that we can build the channel a little bit more. I mean, it's been growing like crazy. I mean, in the last 90 days, we've added over 3,000 subscribers. I've got almost 200 videos up. I have a lot of instructional videos on here. Plus, I have short and long versions of instructional videos. If you go back in the early part of like the ones from back in May and June, I did a lot of instructional videos that had nothing to do with the lives because I didn't start doing the lives until more recently. So you can go back there and you can see a lot of instructional videos on everything from cutting lumber up to tools for the shop and everything else in between. Okay, I think I got much better on this. I'm not really happy with that. I'm down about as far as I can go in the bottom. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I can get this to come out on the outside or not, or on the inside of me. It's this curve here I got to work on. Make it a little bit wider in the bottom. Otherwise, it looks like it's just a vessel that's going straight down, curving in. And you can make the bowl look so much bigger. If you can widen that bottom. Yeah, see, that's getting a little better. I know you can't quite see down in there, but and I wish I could get you down further, but down in that bottom there, if you widen out the bottom more, it makes the whole bowl look bigger. Okay, let's see how I'm doing there. Oh yeah, that's much better. I think that's a much better bowl now. Okay, we got the outside and the inside done now. Take this out, the rest out. Take this out, and we can take this steady rest off of here. These are really great. If you get a chance to pick one up, I would definitely recommend you do it. It just gives you a little bit more, not only just security, it can hold you if you're doing really long like finials or something like that, you can use this to kind of steady that because it's stretched way out past your way out past, like 6-8 inches out. You can use this to steady that and makes it a lot easier. There we go. Gives you some strength when you can't bring a tailstock up. Okay, we're gonna have to do some sanding now. So I hope you're here for that too, because sanding is a part of the job. We're not going to do the kind of sanding that I would normally do at home by myself. We're going to do the kind of sanding we do on a lathe, which is kind of short and sweet. But I gotta get those marks off of here. I'm also going to turn this on from this dust collecting fan. There we go. That makes a big difference. Now I'm getting that stuff that I glued earlier, those lines and stuff that I put glue into. I'm just going to take off some of that. Press that just a little bit. Smooth strokes now, back and forth the whole way. So I gotta remember to slow myself down. As soon as you start going really fast, then you're really not letting the sander do the work that it needs to do. You just want to pull that sander on here. You want to do that. All right, go to the next one anyway. You do the edge here just a little bit. We're just going to get this soft with a touch. Put some finish on it. Then we move on to something else. So, some people say they like to watch sanding. I'm not sure. That's fine if that's what you like watching. Due to accommodation. Hey, Mims, how you doing? Yeah, I saw your video the other day where you were talking about being kind of bummed out at work. Let me do the inside lawn here. Oh yeah, that helps on the inside and the outside both. Okay, we'll go out one more depth here. We'll call it good. We're gonna do this grit here, about 240 grit. I don't think I'll need to go further than that. Olive really doesn't need it. I'm assuming my battery might be getting out here on this one. Let's see. Okay. That does that. Okay. Now we'll get it, get the vacuum here and just vacuum that out so it's get all the dust off of it, and we can put the finish on. And behind the scenes, it takes a little bit longer to do the finish than it shows on these lives. Because realistically, you want to do 2 or 3 coats. You know? So, okay. That's that. Take the helmet off for a little bit. Save the battery there. And let me get my, yeah, I still got some. I was going to say, I might need to make some more of this for you while we're on line here. If you'd like to see me make some of my juice, let me know in the comments here, and I can take a minute or two and show you how I make that, if that's something that you're really interested in. Otherwise, I will not bore you with the details of it. Now, this is just a, like I said, this is going to be just a first coat. In fact, I may still be forced to go back and sand this again before we do the final coats. In fact, just for grids, I think I'll check this inside with my moisture meter before we go any further. Let me see if I got that. Hang on a second. Let's see. Okay. Make sure it's set for wood. Am I going to get a reading? Come on. Give me a reading. Doesn't want to give me a reading. No, it's not reading it. Interesting. Double check myself. Not for buildings, for, okay. Huh. It's not traveling. I know I can do it on the outside here, but it's not going to give me a proper reading either. It says it's 60 degrees, the wood. I was hoping it'd be warmer than that. Well, I'm not going to get a reading. Okay. Well, just from the feel of it and from when I was turning it, I could tell it's not really wet anymore. So I'm going to assume that it's dried off enough. And I can always put this in the microwave a couple times. See if it loses a little bit of moisture in the process. Right? So we have other ways of, we have ways. Okay. So I know this is going to suck this in pretty good because we have fresh exposed wood here. So it's going to suck it up. This is tung oil with mixed with a citrus oil and a little bit of mineral oil. And what they do is they absorb well into the wood, and they will strengthen the wood underneath when they harden, the fibers. We just need to give this a couple minutes to set. Okay. Only a few people in here right now, but please, if you haven't already, would you please hit the like button or subscribe to the channel? We've got, I think I see 6 likes so far. So it'd be nice to have more than 6 likes. I'd really appreciate that. And if you got 50 people in here, I'd like to have at least 30 likes. That would be something, right? So please, if you can, like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Yes, I would be doing this in my shop whether you guys were here or not, but since you're along for the ride, you know, that's always helpful too. Okay, let me get my towel here. I like to let this, I usually let this sit for about 20 minutes and then wipe off the rest. Yeah, thank you, Jesse. Yeah, the grain is beautiful. I love olive wood because it just, you don't have to do anything to it to make it a beautiful piece of wood. It does it itself, you know. You don't have to do any of the work. Okay, so we'll spin that up and take this off a little bit. Okay, get on the inside here. Okay, I'll kind of take that spin look off of that. Then you have a nice buffed out, not a gloss finish, kind of a satin finish, I guess you would call it. We don't have any exposing cracks right now or anything. Okay, we'll take that off there and let you see what it looks like. Like I said, this is going to go through a couple more finishings before I'm done with it. But here's what it looks like. Put the light on it on the inside, and here's the outside of the bowl. Let me back up just a little bit. Oops, there we go. Even the bottom, that's that recessed miter that I had on here. Did have a little nick on there that I need to sand out, but I'll get that later. Okay. This was originally turned about 2 months ago in October, and wanted to get back in there and thin this out some. And don't really want to go too much further because we are dealing with the core, the pith on both sides. If I get too thin, I could actually lose that. So I had to kind of keep that in mind as I do this. But this is a very functional small vase or bowl or whatever you want to do with it. And I really like that. I like that. And I like this side here. What do you think of that? Actually, you can turn that over even that way. It looks pretty cool. Looks like a sunrise sort of going on there. So, okay. So there you go. That's this bowl. We'll set this one aside for now. And got something really small here, and I don't know what it's going to be. This is oak burl that I had, and because it has burl, it has a lot of openings in it. Okay, and we're probably going to core most of this out. It doesn't look like it goes all the way through here. Don't know. This thing could fall completely apart. I have no clue. I really don't have any clue. I can't even see turning it and putting a recess on it, but I could try. I might try getting a recess here. If I can, I'll recess it, flip it around, and turn it the other direction. But if not, I may just have to kind of do it as a bowl like this. I could have done a glue up on it also, but it's just a scratch piece, and I just kind of wanted to see what's in it. So I'm just kind of playing with free wood here in a sense. So I got a little marking here of approximately the center of the wood, which I always screw up eventually anyway, but we'll try. Okay, let me see. That looks to be pretty close to the center. Okay, let me get my drill and a couple of screws, and we'll see what kind of damage we can do to this thing. Probably will end up being a mess, but you never know. It could actually turn out nice if I'm lucky. Okay, that's one. We convinced it to go in. Make sure I'm still centered best I can be. Across from it. Try not to move. There. Now I can tighten these two down. Be easier to put the other two in. Okay. And here. Now, these are going in about that far, which means I have to stay a little bit away from the core of the bottom, or I'm going to go through those little holes. Now, there are ways of dealing with that. Oh, that's not working. I'm going to have to get rid of that screw. It might have a bend in it or something. I don't know. But we'll get rid of that one. I don't like to chance it. Could be just a hard piece of wood or even a rock in the burl. For all we know. That one went in just fine. So, okay. We'll take this this off. Set the chuck aside. Put this on here. If I was any kind of a smart person, I would just turn this round and turn this into a glue up to attach other pieces to, but I'm not that smart. I like to do experiments, so this is my chance to do an experiment. Are you guys with me on that? Okay. Let's give it a shot in the dark, huh? Mims, you got to appreciate this if you're watching. Oh, yes, my shoulder is doing better. Yes, thank you for that question. My shoulder is probably at about 95%, which is to say I probably feel better than Philip Rivers does this morning after playing this weekend for the Colts against Seattle. I'm sure at 44 he woke up with a few extra sore spots. But he got paid well for it. I'd be willing to get that paid that well too. I don't know what they signed him to, but I'm sure it was probably $1 million a game at least, if not more. I'd put up with some bruises for $1 million. Okay, well, I'm going to use. I'm going to use my smaller gouge, just cause. And let's just see what we've got here. You see all that breaking up there? That's all that. That's what I was concerned with. See, this is all. I guess this is like bark that folds in on itself when you're making when you're making a burled piece. It's not all strong hard wood. This is nice wood out here. And then when you get in there, you get this crunchy stuff. I'm going to kind of just cut through that. And I can come back here. That's always fun, isn't it? Doesn't that look cool? You've heard me often talk about sound. You could hear that I've gotten into some different kinds of wood. And look at all this punky, icky, non-woodish kind of stuff that we got here. It's okay. It's a good time to practice technique. Okay. You can go up and you can do a push cut in. Now, and I'll show you a little something if you want to learn something here. This is your bevel, the right here. This is the bevel. It's the angle that you're you have an angle down here, and then you have a bevel up here, and this is your angle of approach. Now, if you can put a secondary bevel, which means you can actually take off a little bit of that edge, so that when you're coming down into a piece, this is not keeping you pushed away. That allows you to slide down a little bit more. So I could put a secondary bevel on here that's at a lesser angle, so it has more of a curved look to it instead of just a straight angled look to it. And what happens is you go in and you can turn, and it actually gets you into the bottom a little better. So a lot of times, and I haven't done it on this one, but on a lot of times you do that on a gouge, you'll give two different angles to it on the back edge so that you can get down to the bottom easier. Let's see if I can clear this out. You know. As I said, I'm going to have to watch out for those screws. Ooh, and there's a big piece. There's a big piece of that middle, right there. Look at that. It goes almost down to the bottom. It doesn't go to the bottom though. It stops. So now we got this big, huge hole here. So are we going to be able to turn? Well, I can turn the speed up a little bit. Okay. And watch what happens when we go past that part. See, you hear that chatter? We're going over that hole at about 700, something like that. Okay, so the light a little better for you there. So look at that hole. He did better than I thought he would. Are you talking about me, or are you talking about Philip Rivers? I assume you're talking about Philip Rivers. Yeah, I always thought Philip Rivers was a hell of a fighter. Definitely one of those guys that just loves the game of football. If he was a basketball player, he'd be called a gym rat. But I think he would have been out there every single day as a basketball player. You know, just in the gym every day, throwing up balls. But he's not tall enough to be a basketball player. I have a question for all the soccer or European uh, football fans out there. Is there an optimal height? Is there a height that you really like a guy to be at? Like is 6 foot the right height, or do you like somebody who's like really tall? Because I know there's advantages to all those. You know, short guys tend to be a little faster. I would think that somebody around 6'2" or 6'3" is probably about the optimal, but not sure. Jesse, you retracted your own message, huh? I'm not sure. I don't want to know what you said. Years ago, there was a guy on UCLA basketball. His last name was Myers, I believe, and he was like 6'8", but he had a 7-foot wingspan. I always thought, boy, he should have played soccer because you know, he as a goalie, he could have covered from one end to the other. I mean, 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, he could cover high, low. It was really hard to get the ball in around him. I think I found the screws. Yep, I did. I found the screws, and I'm starting to hit them. So I got to be really careful here now. So now the question becomes: is this worth saving? What do you guys think? Is it worth saving? I mean, I leave it to you. You're the ones watching the program here. So, write in the comment section. Do you think that I should continue to turn this piece, or do you think this is a lost cause? I mean, I can do things with this, but I don't want to. That makes a nice smooth shearing cut on the outside, on the inside there. Let me go to the outside side for just a minute on this. Square that up too. I don't want to get too thin on the inside until I know for sure what I got going here. Okay. No. Hmm. Let's see. If we can use this. See what that looks like. I got a little flat spot, so I'm still not quite rounded, but I'm getting really close. I can pull this up a lot. Okay. I can go a little bit higher on the speed. Okay. Right there, just that little bit. I don't know if that's just a little bit harder piece of olive wood right there or something. You can see how much flies off up here. You get in that slightly darker wood, and it's a little bit harder to take off. There we go. There we go. Now we'll get this edge. There. That part's all looking pretty good. Now, how to deal with the fact that I have this screws in here? I really can't. The only thing I can do at this point is to try and take down this edge part a little bit, and then go back and maybe sand it down or something like that. I'm not sure how. So we're gonna have to, like I said, normally I would have done a glue up on this. I would have glued a piece of wood to the back of it and done it that way. And I didn't in this particular case because I just wanted to kind of see what was inside. But let me see here. Okay. And going down there, the screws are right here. So as long as I stay on this side of this little ridge, I can go down in more further. And if I stay in here, I can do things too. I can do out to about there. That's about it. So it's really kind of crazy. I'm going to raise my tool rest a little bit. See if I can coax something out of this without ruining everything. Okay. What I'm trying to do is isolate the screws. And see, I'm right up against the screws now. I don't know if you can see in there. Let me see if I can get you in there. Ah, sorry guys. I didn't know I'd accidentally hit the mute button. Is that better now? Somewhere along the line when I was adjusting the camera, I must have hit the mute button. I apologize for that. Sorry. But I noticed something. When I stopped talking, the number of people watching went up. So you figure that out for me. Okay, what I was saying is put a little finish on this just to show you what it looks like. And I think it's really a beautiful, oak is a beautiful wood, especially oak burl. And I'm just going to wipe out the inside here a little bit, and I'll wipe out the outside. Then we're going to sand this. And I'll put some more finish on it after I got it all sanded off. I just wanted you to kind of see why I liked turning this in the first place and why I wanted to give it a shot. I mean, this is not going to be anything worth a useful bowl of any kind. Boy, is that light. But I wanted to experiment, and this was the experiment. So we're going to take these screws out. Now, I could try taking the screws halfway out, but I don't think it would hold very well. See? And I did nub the very edge of those, and that can ruin your gouges. So yeah, I probably will have to replace these screws because they are not going to be good for anything in the future. We will just toss those. By the way, these face plates are under $5 on Amazon. Little bitty ones like this, the little 2-inch ones, perfect for little jobs like this. They hold great. They're made well. Never have any problems with them. And you can just buy a whole crap load of them. So, okay, I'm going to get so you guys can see this a little better. There you go. All right. And I'm going to go back to that mini grit and see if we can sand this out. I don't know if I can. I might have to try and use like a palm detail sander, something like that. But I'm going to see. The wood does seem to have worked pretty well with the sander. And it may just take a matter of a couple minutes to get it down there. I do know this. I don't want to go much further than that because I'm like right up against this. I got right down to the quick. And yes, this is coming out pretty good. Dump that out. I'm gonna have to, I think I'll turn this on just to collect the dust as we go here. And you never know how hard the wood's gonna be or how much it's gonna stand down for you. The grid ought to do a pretty good job of getting down in there. See, we're already getting down there pretty good. It's not really going to happen overnight. It's going to happen. I mean, it'll happen overnight, but it's not going to happen in the next 1 minute. It's going to take a couple minutes to get down there. I'm going to reverse it. Get in there. sometimes there's just no other way around something like this. Like I said, if I'd have put a block on here and glued it on, I could have done that. And that probably would have been a smart thing to do, but I didn't even know what I was playing with here. I just was experimenting. I didn't want to go through the time of doing a glue up. You don't want to take your time on it. And I'll show you how to fill those holes up too. In fact, while this is still sanding, why don't we do that? We'll put a little glue in here, cover the holes. And I'm going to put glue in these holes. There. I'm going to take some of this really fine dust that we've been making the last few minutes. Fine dust will stick. And that will fill those holes. When we sand the bottom here, that'll go away. You won't even see it. Let's say you're going to be able to put water in here. So at least you can put stuff in that's not going to fall through. I don't think it'll fall through as those screw holes anyway. But, nobody likes to have a peekaboo hole. I think you get the general idea here. I need to get on to watch the entire sanding process. And that's generally how we're going to do this. I'll take the palm sander on here for 30 seconds and that'll smooth anything, even it all out. It was a pretty even piece to begin with, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. I'll take the little scratch marks off. But you already can't see the holes that we filled up. See, they're gone. And nobody will ever know they're there. One of my little emblems on the bottom of it, that'll cover it up too. You know, worst case scenario, guys. Worst case scenario, if you can't fill a hole with anything else, get some felt, glue the felt on the bottom of it so it looks like it's a well finished piece. They will never know. They'll never know there were holes there because the felt will cover it up. So there's lots of different ways of dealing. Like I said, there's lots of different ways of dealing with it. I've cut round pieces of felt before. But yeah, it's safe, and I'm gonna almost there. We're almost there. This little piece would have probably just gone in the trash, but I cut that out on purpose. Figured actually has a little brother, well, a big brother, I should say, right here. That's his big brother. We can turn this one too. Now this one I think is going to be more solid. It doesn't have those same characteristics the other one had. This one was going to be a nice piece. This one would just be the little brother to it, like if you had a nut hole and then you had a little side hole or something. Of course, a lot of these little ones are going around for Christmas presents and stuff. We're getting near the end of the season for that. I hope all of you have been watching and subscribe. Hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. It does help the channel a lot. Writing comments also helps quite a bit. If you write into the comment section, that really helps me. I see 27 likes right now. So please, if you're one of the 19 people watching and you haven't hit the like button, please do hit the like button. 27 is actually a pathetically small number, quite honestly. We'd really like to have much better numbers than that. For like. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not going to get. We're not going to get emails or anything. If somebody would make a double tap screen or whatever you need to do, but it really does help me. It helps the algorithm. It helps get this out to the public a little bit more. So if you would please do that, I would really appreciate it a lot. Likes are a very helpful part of the whole process. Likes and subscribers. We really want to get to 4,000. When we get to 4,000, we're going to have a giveaway. And you can only be part of it if you're a subscriber. So non-subscribers will not be eligible for any of the giveaways. So essentially, if you want an extra Christmas present or something, although I probably won't arrive before Christmas. Boy, if shipping costs, have you guys looked at shipping costs this year? My goodness. I was trying to order beef sticks from a company in Wisconsin. The shipping cost was $41.88. It cost more than the food. $41.88 to ship a small box of beef log. The beef log was only like about $40. And that was for delivery after January 5th, by the way. That was not like next week. Good morning to all of you that are here. We're just finishing up this little bitty bowl that we had a large inclusion in here that we had to dig out of the bowl. And when we did, of course, we have a hollow that we had to fill in, so we had to take care of. So it's getting pretty hot right now. I don't want to crack from the heat. I'm going to cool it off for just a few seconds here. That's really getting hot. Whew. But you can see the general idea of it. We got it pretty well down. I'll probably have to go back and sand more later. But at least it's getting to that point now. We were able to save it. Getting pretty good. So I'll put another coat on here and let you guys see what it looks like. And I'll finish up the sanding at a later time, just so you don't have to wait for that. Okay. Get that off and let me vacuum up a little of the dust out of here. Yeah. Okay. So let me put a little bit of polish on that. So it sucks in right away as I put it in there. I'm going to pull back just a little bit. Let's see a little bit of what I'm doing. This, like I said, this is going to get sanded on the bottom a little bit more. Take out some of those little lines. I'm going to finish sanding the inside here. And I will take care of those little, you can see a couple places where the little glue seeping through, but we'll take care of those too. And that won't even show. In fact, there's a number of ways to do that, including using a stain pen. If you've never used a stain pens are wonderful. They look like this. They're like wood finish pens. And you can go in there and you can just put a little dot of stain over it. And you won't even be able to see them. See those? Just match right in. I'll let that dry for a while. Stuff. But this is the general idea of this little bowl. It was just a little experiment. It's a nice little oak burl, and somebody will want it for $10. And it was otherwise it was just going to get thrown in the trash. I will, like I said, I will sand that out and smooth out the bottom. We'll finish off the bottom. We'll finish this bottom, and we'll polish it up a little bit, and it'll be good to go. Yeah. Here. Wipe this down a little bit. There, so I can handle it. There we are. Yeah. There. What do you think? Hi, Darla. What do you think of this little bowl? It's just a little trinket bowl. Beautiful wood. I love the grain here. Burl has so much different grain going on. It's sort of like olive wood. If you didn't see the one we did earlier today, let me pull that back out here. This is the one we were returning now that it's had a chance to dry out and warp just a little bit. You can see the inside there, and then you can see the beautiful outside on that. So that's two of them we've done today. Okay. And we're still working on our Thursday project. I think Thursday project's going to be a piece of, I want to call it mystery wood only because I have no idea what wood it was. This came from a gentleman who passed away, and other than looking at the bark, which really doesn't tell me a whole lot, I have no clue. He painted this with lacquer, with latex, or maybe it's oil based. I'm not sure, but it's pretty thick paint, so you can't see the wood. I don't know what the direction of the wood is or anything else. I'm just going to be guessing. But what we'll probably do is we'll mount this up and we'll turn it and we'll find out together what it is. I'm not going to be able to save the bark because you can see the bark is separated from the wood. That's okay. I can live with that. It may stay on some places. I don't know. We'll see. That's not my big concern here. My big concern is, can we make a good bowl out of it? So we'll probably be mounting it on this side, doing a turn, and it'll end up being a bowl that's turned with this being the top and this being the bottom. But other than that, I can't really tell you too much about it. And we'll learn together, right? So that's the whole idea here. So we'll experimental wood is one of my kind of specialties in a sense. I dealing with woods that you don't know what they're going to give you. I may get inside that thing and say, this is trash. It's just pine. But I got to think that this was a guy who had been a wood turner for probably 40 or 50 years. I don't think he would save a piece of wood if he didn't think it was worth saving. And he had a bunch of it. We've got a couple truckloads actually that his family donated to our wood turning group. And we were all in there just grabbing pieces right and left. I got several other pieces too, but I think this is the one we'll do for this next one on Thursday. It could be maple. It's possible. We don't have a lot of maple around here, unless it was ornamental maple. We do have a lot of ornamental maple, so that's a possibility, and it's certainly if it is maple, all the better, right? We can turn a really nice piece of maple bowl, and we'll find out. If it's something else, well then we have walnut, we have a lot of fruit trees, we have a lot of stuff in our backyard here, so around here. So in fact, that olive that I showed you came from a neighbor around the corner here that was going to put it in the fire pit because he just cut it down out of the back of his house. It had some bugs in it, and I said, no, give me a big piece of that, and we'll go with it. So I got this other little piece here, and I was thinking, do we want to turn this? We can turn this. We can turn this into a nice little shallow bowl. I think I can get a tenon on this side. So, can we give it one more try, guys, before I'm finished here? What do you think? I only got 46 people in here right now, so I'm not sure. Do we want to turn the bowl for 46 people, or do we want to maybe call it a day and do it another time? No, it's I know it's nighttime over in Europe, so I should be getting some of the nighttime people over there. But with 45 people, I'm just not sure if it's really worth doing right now. Any comments? If I don't see comments about it, I'll probably just call it. So let me know. Turner's choice. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm seeing 30 dropping to 33, 32. And sometimes we have 200,000 people watching. Last couple we've had like 27,000 people watching over the course of an hour or two. So it's really dropped off, mostly because of the holidays. As you can see, this one had bugs in it. Look at these holes, and even in here. So I'm not sure. There could be wormholes all the way through this thing. It's a possibility. Um, so when I say I'm going to put a tenon in here, I'm gritting my teeth, hoping that this is not a void right here, and that I can make a tenon out of it. It's almost bigger than I'd like to do for a glue up, but I could do a glue up, and we could turn that way too. So, I think I'm going to take a little bit of time to think about this one, and we'll do this maybe on Thursday when we do the big one there. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do for today. I really appreciate all you guys that have been in here. Jesse, it's really been appreciated. I really thank you for helping out, and like I said, anybody else who's in here who hasn't subscribed or has not hit the like button, please do hit the like button. We do appreciate it. Try and do some teaching along the way as we go. It's not always perfect, like we accidentally turn off the sound from time to time and things like that, but we do try. And we're trying to give life back to wood that's no longer functional. And when we turn it into a bowl, it gives a piece of wood another 50 years of life. So I think that's important. Anyway, I thank you all for being here today, and we will talk to you on Thursday. Keep an eye out for the Thursday one. It should be posted, and you should be able to get in there. Okay, so we'll talk to you all on Thursday. Thanks.